The true and thrilling story of Sadhu Sundar Singh, the Apostle of the Bleeding Heart, printed in Melbourne, Australia, 1920. This is a very rare book. Chapter 3, Section 3rd, The Vision. But I cannot go on much longer like this, said I to myself one day. I must either put an end to this anguish or put an end to my life. Yes, I was determined, and I had decided on the course of action I was going to pursue. I got up early next morning at 3, 2 hours before the cock crow, and said to myself, I will go and put an end to my life under the 5 o'clock train, if my soul finds no comfort by them. Just at this time, something whispered in my ears to offer a prayer to the Almighty and put my case before Him. This I did, threw myself prostrate on the ground, and spoke and sobbed inherent prayers for nearly an hour. I sat up straight at the end of this time and felt a little comfort. I had spoken the trouble of my heart to God, and that seemed to have brought me some solace. I was yet rummaging the results of the intercourse with the divine when I saw my room become suddenly lighted with a glorious light, and in the midst of it I beheld a figure with hands upraised. I recognized this person at once. His hands and feet were pierced, and a crown of thorns adorned his brow. I had seen pictures of him in some Christian books. This person looked wistfully at me and said, How long, yea, how long wilt thou deny and persecute me? I heard these words and fell down to worship him and confess my sins. Then I got up with a heart overflowing with joy and saw Jesus no more. The vision had disappeared, but I had found him, yea, him whom I lacked, even Jesus. I had heard and read in the Bible period at school words like these: Come unto me, all ye that travail and are heavy laden, and I will refresh you. God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, to the end that all that believe in him should have everlasting life, and had always disregarded and despised them. Now they came ringing into my ears, and their repetition imparted a new joy and a sweet rest to my soul. At length thy trials are ended, and thy peace is come. Yes, truly, my peace had come. I had found it. It was in my heart. Could I now conceal this joy? No. I ran and told my father I had found Jesus. What, boy? Retorted he. Are you gone mad? Only last week you were burning the Injils, I-N-J-I-L-S, and spitting and tramping on the name of Christ written on the ground. And now you say you have found Christ. What do you mean? I have found Christ and I am now his disciple, replied I. Don't talk like that, you stupid boy, said my father in a very angry tone. Think what you are saying. Truly, I do not think all the labor your mother has suffered to make you strong and our religion has gone wasted. Or are you the words of the Shanjias, that man of God who visited our home a few months ago, coming true of you? Do you remember what he said of you? This boy will do some great work one day, or will go mad. We have been living in great hopes of this first prophecy coming true of thee. But meseems our hopes are belied, and things are developing to a way to prove that instead of a great man, you are going to be a madman. You have been rude enough to display your stupidity to me, but mark me, you will have to walk very wearily, lest you do the same to others, and bring disaster to yourself and to the whole family. Do not let yourself be tossed about by a sudden freak of your fancy. Ponder well your own Hindu scriptures. Try to understand their deep teachings, and you will see how foolish and unworthy the teaching of the Isha, that's I-S-A, and then M-A-S-I-H, will appear when compared to them. You are still very young and cannot decide on points of religion. You need to be guided and guided aright. A child is not wiser than his parents, and you cannot kick aside the tradition of generations of your elders. You will be making yourself a fool by saying, I am wiser than all my ancestors were, and I will do what they did not, and I will believe what they never did. No, my dear son, you are the hope of the family and the light of our home. Think what it would mean if you called yourself a Christian. Oh, the very name is so loathsome. I think what it would mean. All our hopes would be shattered. You will have to be driven away from home in order to keep it clean, and we should become the laughingstock of the whole clan. Then think what the future has in store for you. You are the son of a Nambardar, the headman of the village, and the skin of the highest sheikh family. Any of our sheikh states will only be too glad to give you a post of prominence. You could easily be the chief minister or a commanding officer in any of the states. Think what that would mean. Leaks of rubies, hundreds of bagages of land, and a name in the state to conjure with. Do you see now how foolish you have been in thinking and speaking as you have done today? I am sure you cannot mean what you have said, for you are a sensible boy and a worthy sheik. God forbid that you should ever dream of becoming a Kirani, Kirani. What a detestable name to go by. Go now and talk no more about it. Such were the words with which the father dismissed his son, and thought he had said enough to drive away the new manic from his head. But he was wrong, entirely wrong. It was not very long before he discovered his mistake.